Jeffrey ducks away from her eye contact. He feels intimidated. Come on, Jeffrey, if you just hold her eye contact, she's gonna be more attracted to you. Just give it a try, Jeffrey. Slowly and surely, Jeffrey builds up to trying to hold a little bit more eye contact with the girls that he walks past. And he's making some good progress. That's all it takes? Adonis. Adonis instantly creates attraction with women. How does he do it? With his piercing eye contact. When he walks past a woman, he holds her eye contact up until she looks away. And after she's looked away, she can't help but feel attracted and even slightly intimidated by Adonis. Her interest has skyrocketed. Think and visualize this right now. Imagine you're walking down the street and just the normal thing is happening where you walk past some cute women and they don't really look at you. It's always in your mind, you know, you'd love to fuck, you'd love to get more girls. But you just always think, okay, how can you do it? It just feels so awkward to speak to them, to approach them. It doesn't feel like they're very receptive. Maybe you've got to go home and go onto Tinder and Instagram instead. But now imagine you walk through the streets and a woman's walking towards you and she's actually looking at you. She's holding your eye contact and she gives you like a friendly, happy smile. Think about how much easier and just better it would be to think about going to like go speak to her and just see what happens. Eye contact is the way to create instant attraction with women that you meet in your normal day-to-day life. Now, of course, you can go and choose to, you know, be on Instagram and Tinder and find girls to date that way, and that can work. But in your normal day-to-day life, by the women that you walk past, there's opportunities there that aren't being tapped into. You could eventually go and have like an amazing, beautiful time with some random woman that you just happen to walk past. And maybe, just maybe, you missed that opportunity because you were like too shy and intimidated, or maybe even worse, you were just being a Jeffrey and just like, you know, looking into your phone, pretending like you were busy on your phone, pretending to like type away to someone. Imagine just like being sat there just fucking watching like Hamza videos on the train when like your dream woman's next to you smiling at you, and since you're not looking back, you're just looking at fucking Hamza videos. She then goes and smiles at someone else and that guy smiles back at her and they end up talking and he gets her number. That's gonna hurt, bro. I've noticed this myself and I'm not sure if I'll be able to explain it with you, but like this is the way to attract a woman like IRL, like in real life. This is the way. Now again, it's easier doing it all through your phone and maybe you should, you know, consider going onto Tinder or something. Probably won't work. I'm not gonna lie. Tinder and Instagram dating doesn't work for the majority of guys. Like you have to be like very attractive, very successful for it to work. But what I've realized in the last few months, like the way to meet a woman day to day, it's not even about approaching. Like you've probably seen videos about, you know, how to approach women and stuff, and that can be nice and it can work, but literally the best way to approach, the best kind of woman to approach is the one who's literally just held your eye contact and smiled at you. Think about how different it is and how like weird you feel when there's a woman who's not even looked at you and you're like running after her and stuff, trying to like, oh, excuse me, you know, just trying to use some pickup line. And you know, she's not even looked at you at all. She's not paid any attention to you. She's just a random person that you're just thinking, oh, well, you know, I may as well try. Compared to a woman who's literally paying attention to you and smiling as she walks past you. That is how attraction is instantly created. The stories I want to tell you with this is going to seem like boasting. Hopefully you're just not going to think it's cringe or anything that I'm telling you about times that I got girls and, you know, girls are attracted to me. But I remember in August of this year, a fan's dad went to my gym. He's a really nice guy and he invited me out to dinner with him and his two sons. And so we went to like this nice like Pakistani restaurant in Manchester, and then afterwards we sat in this like shisha bar. Like we weren't smoking, but we just sat there like drinking tea and eating fruit. And I was sat like looking towards the street walking past, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, I just bulked up like another 10-15 pounds. I was wearing like a nice shirt, jewelry. I looked good. I knew that I looked good because I was sat there, and there was two different times that this happens. Two girls walked past. Like, a bunch of people walking past, but two girls walked past. I've gotten enough experience of this, so I knew that was gonna happen. The girl on the left looked at her friend and kind of like gave her this look of like something like this, and then the girl on the right kind of gave her this kind of body language of like who are you talking about? And the girl on the left literally points towards me. Like, imagine I'm sat here, she goes, and she does this. I'm literally looking at her and she gets like instantly a little bit scared because I knew what was happening. Her friend looks and they start giggling away and stuff and they walk off. I could have like pursued and stuff, but like I already started dating my girl at this point. So I obviously like we weren't together, but like, do you know what I mean? Like I was focused on one girl. Another two girls walk past, and I promise you this is the truth. Another two girls walk past, exact same thing happens. So there was already a sense of initial attraction there. There was a reason they were looking towards me. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was big dicking it. I was like literally sat like drinking tea and fruit and stuff, legs wide spread apart, arm like this next to the dad of these boys here, taking pictures with them and everything like this. So the next two girls walk past, exact same thing happens, and this time I'm clued up on it. I'm just like holding my gaze towards her because I know they're gonna speak about me, and I just see her go like this kind of look to her friend. Her friend looks over, they see me, they start like giggling and stuff, and I got this desire of like, oh, what if I ran up to them right now and I spoke to them? And I probably would have if I was like totally single, but I didn't that day, so I'm gonna tell you the truth, like, oh, I didn't fuck them or anything. The attraction was there. Now there was two reasons why this attraction was formed on this day with like 4 different girls, right? And in fact, there's another story I can tell you. In Thailand, I went to Thailand this year in May. I fly over and I remember the first day, me and my 2 friends, we go out to like get food, and we're sat on like, you know, this bench outside from like this little food stall we're eating there, and I'm wearing like this gym vest, like sleeveless vest. I'm looking good and everything. Bro, the same thing happened where like 2 pairs of 2 girls, so 4 girls total, the exact same thing happens. One of them walks past and I just hold her eye contact and I end up like speaking to her. I'm like, oh, hey, come here. And we end up speaking to them and we have like a nice conversation, we get Instagrams and everything. Then the second time, again in Thailand, bro, literally 5 minutes later, it felt like I was a fucking Chad. 2 girls walk past again. I see one of them's like eating crisps or something. What do you guys call it? Chips or some shit. We call it crisps here in the UK. She's eating some. So me and her kind of look at each other and I shout out like, oh, what flavor is it? She shows me it's like salt and vinegar or some shit. Oh yeah, give me some. I'm just being playful. Yeah, give me some. So she comes over, she gives me some and everything. And I remember just speaking to her, getting her Instagram as well. So you can see in all of these instances with a total of 8 girls, that's my sample size here. There was 2 things actually that caused this attraction to happen. Instant attraction. One, which we've discussed, is eye contact. But the second, it was my physique. It was how I looked. Now the thing is, you can't change that much about how attractive, your face is and your bone structure or something. There's some things you can't really change. You can grow a beard, change your hairstyle, and that can make quite a significant difference. But the thing that you can literally go 0 to 100 in is your physique. I've seen online that there's a bunch of like these black pill type of guys, these guys who downplay the importance of a man's physique. When you do research on this, even the black pillars who have done this, so Wheat Waffles is like a black pill YouTube channel, and when he's done research on this, he collects data on like what's the most like all this shit, bro. Time and time again, a man's physique is the single greatest thing that he has to attract more women. Literally, it is the single greatest thing. Not money, not confidence, not game, not genetics. It is literally just your body fat percentage and your muscle mass. Now you don't need to be like an absolute big bodybuilder. Girls really aren't attracted to some like massive guy, but the type of physique that they're attracted to is what I call the aesthetic physique. It's the guy who's got a very good amount of muscle mass, but he's lean and he's trained in a particular way where he's built like his upper body looks like this, where his shoulders go out and his waist goes inward. So he's lean and he's built, for example, like the lateral delts. He's built like a nice like neck and everything. Most workout routines that I've ever saw in my fitness journey don't actually train like this. Most of the workout routines I've seen, which you've probably seen, is like strong lifts, flat bench press, deadlifts. They're good routines if you just enjoy training for fun, which can be nice. But if you want to train for fun and also end up looking good, which I think you should. A lot of people have said like I'm shallow for this, but like I think it's fucking deep. It's not shallow. It's like wanting to look good so that you can attract love is nothing shallow at all about that. I think that's incredibly deep. And so go and get the fun of weightlifting and doing some bench press and stuff, fine. But there's certain exercises that you can do that will make your body actually look sexy, like the kind of ones that these girls are liking on Instagram. Scroll down to the description of this video. I've linked 7 free workout routines that you can go have right now. When you go to the gym and build a nice body, I'm specifically talking about weightlifting, by the way. Some guys don't realize this, but when you hear men like me on YouTube and stuff talk about like, yeah, going to the gym is so good for young men. We're not talking about cardio. We're not talking about going to the gym to do half an hour on the treadmill. We're not talking about some like class that you sign up to and you do some like boot camp little fucking like shoulder press with like 5 kg. You set the kettlebell on the floor and you jump over the kettlebell and do like a quick push. We're not talking about that shit. When you hear guys like me who tell you that going to the gym is vital for young men and it will help you get girls, we're not talking about cardio or any of that shit. We're talking about either weightlifting or calisthenics, which is kind of like bodyweight exercises, but it's still not like cardio or anything. It's about resistance training that builds muscle. It's muscle and a lower body fat percentage that is irresistible towards women. Some guys out there don't want to listen to this because it just puts the responsibility on them that they have to take action and that they can't be lazy to attract women. There's communities online that say, nope, it doesn't matter how fat you are, doesn't matter how jacked you are, doesn't matter how much muscle you have, doesn't matter how much game you have, doesn't matter how much personality you have. If you're not 6'4", you can't get any girls. If you're brown, you can't get any girls. These guys, bro, I fucking hate the black pillars. Have you ever seen them online? This group called like Black Pill. It's like this new like movement of guys who say like it's only genetics that matters. I've put them in a very particular situation, and hopefully they'll react to this video if they want. But I've put them in a very particular situation because a year ago they were talking about me when I was talking about getting girls and saying that I was ugly. They were saying that I was a 2.5 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. They were saying that I was ugly, that I had the curry tax. Like, oh, they're all fucking racist as well. They're fucking disgusting people, bro. If you see some of their channels, Wheat Waffles is okay. He's been red pilled now that he goes to uni. But the rest of these black pillars, you see some of these like underground accounts. I'm not even gonna say their names because I'm not gonna give them any clout, but maybe you know them and maybe they'll be watching this video right now. They're disgusting men who are older, who stink of like sweat, and they're saying to young men, yep, give up. If you're 6'4", you'll never get girls. If you're brown, you'll never get girls. If you're black, you'll never get girls. If you don't have this eyelid shape, you'll never get girls. They said this to me a year ago and they were saying that like my genetics were so bad that I'd never be able to get girls. Then I got girls. I got more attractive. And now they're like, oh, well, your genetics, they're saying this to me. First they said my genetics were shit. Now they're saying my genetics are really, they've always been really good. They must be. So it wasn't never genetics, was it? Because yeah, I was tall. Okay, I'm kind of tall. I'm 6'1". I've been 6'1", right? But there was a time when I was 6'1" and ugly with no girls. Then there was a time when I was 6'1" at the start of this year. I was still 6'1". I still had the same genetics. And I was literally sleeping with so many girls that it was causing me like a fucking spiritual pain. It's very important that you have the total belief that you can make yourself more attractive and that eventually you can go and get more girls from that. It's so utterly important that you believe this. Because this is the truth. The data shows us that the single greatest thing that you can do is to build your physique. physique. The single greatest thing you can do is not be fat, be lean, and build some extra muscle. That is the single greatest thing that you can do to become more attractive and to get more matches on Tinder, more likes on Instagram, and more girls who are actually eye-fucking you when you're out in public. That's the single greatest thing you can do, and you and I both know that your physique is totally in your control. So sorted. So there's no such thing as this debate about genetics or anything. Now, of course, if you're genetics, if you're like fucking 4'5", if you're 5'1" or something, yeah, of course it's gonna be hard. Of course it is. But the majority of guys in the bell curve, the majority of guys are average. They're average height, average intelligence, average in the face. Okay. But if you go and build a 10 out of 10 body, which is totally in your control, and then you learn some things like how to actually hold a woman's eye contact, you will get the exact same experience that I got. Because right now, maybe you've watched this video, maybe the black pillars have watched this video, and you're just so sure that, no, that can't be true. Hamza's saying that like 8 girls held his eye contact and he got their Instagram. No, it can't be true. Any man who's watching this right now, who's already built his physique, who already has some like okay game and knows how to hold eye contact with girls, will just be watching like, yeah, well, that's nothing special. And yet all these black pillars and all these like guys who don't really understand women will just be thinking like, oh, he's got to be lying because he's brown and girls aren't attracted to brown guys. Fucking racist pricks, bro. How do you hold a woman's eye contact? You've got to see it like a skill. There's no like, quick tip to fix it or anything. It's just a skill that you've got to, keep in mind and start practicing when you go out. Go for a walk, go to the shopping center, whenever you're going to go do something. And just keep it in your mind that, yeah, like, I want to hold some eye contact today. Go walk past like a woman or something and just, kind of like look at her eyes as you walk past. And maybe like a lot of women won't look back. A lot of guys won't. A lot of people are just in their own mind space, just going shopping. They're not thinking about you. But every now and then you will see someone who's like actually looking at your eye contact. And how it generally is that you'll not be able to hold it for that long when you first try to do this. You'll feel kind of like paranoid. You'll feel kind of like anxious and you'll look away. But that's okay because that's still progress. But if you keep this in mind and you just keep going out there, keep trying to hold eye contact, you'll get a little bit better every time. It's just literally just practicing it. You just got to practice it and it takes some time. And eventually you'll get to the point when like, yeah, it just seems normal. You can walk past the girl and you'll hold her eye contact up until she looks away. And that's a very good sign. If you hold a woman's eye contact and she looks away, usually that will mean that she's actually now got a level of attraction into you. It displays a level of like power and dominance when you look at someone and they look away first. And you don't want to do this in any kind of intimidating, scary way, where you're just staring at someone. You don't want to do that. But you want to have like a nice friendly smile. You're happy. You're going about your day. You meditate so you're happy now. You're not depressed like all these fucking black pillars. You go about your day, you smile at some woman or something and she'll like look away first. You can almost a little bit guarantee that she's got a level of like attraction to you, at least subconsciously after this. And then it's a lot easier for you to just walk straight up and just go say something. When you have the physique and you can start holding eye contact, I'm not going to lie to you, she's not yours just yet. It still requires a level of courage for you to put yourself out there and to face rejection. And so a final little story I have is just a while ago, I was in Starbucks with my sister. Like we went to a cafe together, just sat there. And I remember like facing into the cafe, like the restaurant. And there was a girl sat with her mum way across. And I remember just kind of looking at her. She looks at me. I fully had this like eye contact thing in my mind. I was practicing eye contact. You're me, right? So she's, talking to her mum like this. She kind of like looks, she sees me. We hold eye contact for a second and she kind of like looks down like this. And I knew what was going to happen. This is an extra tip I'm glad I'm going to tell you. When that happens, when a girl look kind of like, sees your eye contact and looks away, within 5 seconds, she's going to look again. Make sure you're still looking. So it can come across as a bit of like staring, but just, you've got to do this in the right way. So essentially she's talking to her mum. She looks at me. She kind of looks away. I knew she was going to look back. She looks back again. And this time I give her like a nice smile and she kind of like smiles and looks back onto the floor. Boom. The attraction is there. If I went up and approached her, I would have gotten like her Instagram or phone number. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tell you the true story. I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, she's mine now. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll just finish my coffee first. So I'm just sat there drinking it. And eventually like I see like, 2 people from the corner of my eye stand up and it's them two thinking, okay, if she walks over towards you, I'm going to tell her, yo, come here for a second. And she just kind of like walks. I remember like, I even thought like she was walking with like an extra bit of a strut. Essentially, they just walked out of the cafe. And I was thinking like, wait, should I go run after her? Nah. I personally don't do that shit. Like I could have like, ran out of the cafe. Come back, please. We held that. I'm not going to do that shit, bro. Yeah, she left. I didn't have like the courage at that point. This was only like a couple of months ago. So I was still kind of confident and everything. But like just at that little micro moment, I didn't have the amount of like courage I needed to just go up there. So when you do get this, the last tip I'll give you, when you do get eye contact with a girl, just look at her, smile a little bit. She might look away. Just keep looking just for another few seconds because most likely she'll look back again and then she'll like fully get into like a bigger smile with you. Don't come across like a weirdo or, you're staring or some shit. If you've got like a nice friendly smile, that won't happen. You don't need to like fear being like creepy. At that point, when she smiled and held your eye contact, walk straight over, bro. Use courage. Courage is the skill, like the act, the trait of not listening to the fear inside of you and just entering with action, with boldness. Go, be bold immediately, fast as possible. As soon as you get that good eye contact with a smile, literally forget everything else. Don't think about it. If you try to convince yourself to go speak to her like I did, it's not gonna work. What you need to do, as soon as you get the eye contact and a smile, literally just command your feet to walk towards her. And as you do that, it's like suddenly you'll be confident as fuck, I promise you. Literally just command your feet to walk towards her. As soon as you get the smile, literally don't overthink it. Command your feet, walk over. You'll literally walk over like you're a confident motherfucker. And she'll be almost slightly intimidated by how fucking bold you were. Maybe you're like, meters apart, you smile, you walk straight over. Hi, excuse me. You got a really nice smile. What's your name. Those free workout routines that are gonna get you instant attraction from women are linked in the description. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.